So when you're going to catch a horse, it's important to remember that they know body language better than any of us. They don't speak. So they understand it better than we're ever going to understand it. So there's no need to like hide your halter or your lead rope or try to sneak up on them. They'll see you coming the minute you walk out the barn. So the kind of attitude and the intention you want to have walking up to a horse when you're going to catch them is kind of calm and cool. No big deal, I'm just going for a walk. I'm going to try and catch Aaron, and he sometimes is okay with being caught, sometimes is not. My first approach is going to be to come around to where his eye is, stand in front of his eye, and come right up to him, and intend to not catch him on the first approach. Keep the expectations low. Another thing to think about is where horses feel safe. So they're always aware of fence lines and corners and where other horses are between them and the fence and open spaces and closed off spaces. So if there's a fence here on one side, there's a corner on that side, and then there's open field on behind them. If I were to come from the other side and sandwich them between the field and me, they might feel trapped and walk away, so I'd be less likely to catch them. So I'm going to put myself between them and the field, put myself in a more compromising spot and help them feel like they could get away, give them the opportunity. So right now Aaron's moving away as I come up to his face. And what I'm going to try and do here is stay with him and show him that I'm not going to chase you. I'm not going to run you off, because my goal is for you to come to me, not for you to run away. So I'll stay with him and imagine there's like a bubble of like a comfort zone. He's comfortable with me standing here, this close to him. This is like the space. If I were to come into that space, he would step off. Honey has a different size of that comfort zone than Paxton, than Aaron. Every horse has like a different threshold of what they're comfortable with people being in. And Aaron's already moved off, so I'm gonna have to keep kind of showing him that me standing in that bubble is okay, is safe. I can be in that bubble and you won't be chased. And it takes many times to retrain that, because I know the old method was to chase a horse till they're tired and then catch them. So he's not scared of us. He's not just feeling like not being caught. He just has been taught, when I approach you, I chase you off and you move away from me. So now we have to teach him the opposite, which is going to take time and many trials and errors of coming into the bubble, showing him this is safe, nothing's going to happen, I'm not going to chase you, and back out and try to go back and forth to reinforce that this is the new way. I'm going to come in front of his eye. Hi. And my goal is to get him to like acknowledge that I'm here without me forcing him. So I'm hoping for him to boop my hand with his nose, or lift his head and look at me, or I can get one hand, good boy, like that, and then walk away. And that kind of starts the foundation of drawing your horse to you rather than chasing them off. When I approach you, you acknowledge me, and then that's a safe place to be. Nothing aggressive happens. But he's gonna walk off, so I'm gonna try and cut off his eye. He's very good at outmaneuvering that. So it takes a lot of keeping up with him, keeping your body relaxed. I'm not chasing, I'm not running after him, I'm not trying to, I couldn't be faster than him, I couldn't be stronger than him. So I'm just gonna stick with him. He's knowing the next step is coming, so he's anticipating it. My next step would be to rub this on his shoulder and walk out of the bubble. And you can see he's already anticipating being caught and not wanting to do it. both sides of him until he doesn't react. So again, you go to the front, walk out, come to the other side. And this is really common with a lot of horses, how one side, they have an easier job with something than the other. And typically the left side is where there's like muscle memory of stress or being tacked up or being led. So they anticipate stuff happening on the left, on one side more than the other. Good boy. So there he stopped running away from me. I'm gonna acknowledge it and give him space. That was really great. He stopped with me in his space. Try and switch the halter to be on the side that's closest to him and just be in that space but not do anything with him. Give him a little pet. Good boy. Because it's here, he's anticipating it, but he's not going as far. Good boy. He's staying with me a little bit more. And if you don't have time for all of this, it's frustrating, but once we all kind of do this more, we're all consistent, we all give him the space, stay with him, reinforce the fact that you're not going to be chased. I'm going to come out here, I'm going to touch you with the lead rope and nothing's going to happen. Good boy. You don't have to run. The shorter this process is going to become. I think one thing to think about that's that threshold of like, is he gonna walk away or is he gonna stay is tough to kind of know. Do I keep pushing him or do I step away? And I think one thing to look at is feet. Like as soon as their feet stop moving, when you're trying to change the size of that bubble, as soon as their feet stop moving away from you, you can take the pressure off because they've done what you're hoping for. And then you can, make that a little, like fine tune that over time. You can rub a halter on him and he's not moving away from you. You can draw a lead rope over his head, make a little loop, and then lift his head to put the halter on. Oh, or let him lift his own head. Good boy. Over the ears. Make sure both ears are through. And then you're going to want to get the throat latch, which is this clip, and make sure that's clipped on before you lead him away. So the second part, so once you've caught your horse, how do you get him to follow you? He's more interested in eating grass than anything else, so how do we get him to do something else that he doesn't want to do? First of all, you want to hold your lead rope with 2 points of contact. You want to have the slack in one hand and make sure it's not looped around your hand. So if I had it like this and a horse ran off, it could loop around my hand and drag me. So I want to make sure it's not looped. The second point's going to be about a foot or an arm's length from the buckle to where you're holding it. And I need to get his head up, but this horse weighs 1,000 pounds and is much stronger than I am. So I could pull on him all day and it won't achieve anything except teaching him that being haltered gets his head yanked, and he's probably not going to enjoy that. So what I'm going to do instead is hold all of the lead rope in one hand, and the hand closest to him I'm going to put on the other side of his mouth and lift it up and hold on to the halter and just hang on to him. And I kind of like to think about it like there's a space I'd like you to hold your head. It's in this relaxed position, but not any closer to the grass. And I don't need to yank on you. I don't need to hold your head there. You can hold your own head there. But if your head gets lower, then I'm gonna hold this distance firm. And I'm gonna make a knot in the lead ropes to help people remember where to hold it. But right now, did you see that? He went to test that boundary, to try and go back to the grass. But because I had him at this length and I kept my arm firm, I didn't have to yank him. I didn't have to make any loud noise or any loud indication. I just held him where I need to remind him, this is where you hold your head. That's it. So let's take a couple steps. If I want a horse to move, the best way you can do it is to kind of get them off balance. You can think about it like a straight line, hi buddy, from the point of their top of their head straight down to their tail. And they move, when they move forward, the whole body moves on a straight line forward. Oh, I'm sorry. If you want a horse to move and they won't move their feet, you want to get the front of their body kind of off that line. Just take a step to the side and then the rest of them will follow forward. So to do that, I'm going to lift. I'm going to hold my lead rope exactly that same length, right under the buckle. I'm going to lift his head a little bit forward and to the side. He'll take one step and then I can get him to keep moving. And that was a good example of what, especially with Aaron, he really likes his grass. I want him to walk with me and not eat the grass. So I'm going to hold my arm at the height above the grass that I'd like to keep him at. I don't need to yank him. He just needs to walk with me, and he needs to know that this is the distance we stay above the grass. When he drops his head, I hold my hand firm here. I don't move it up. I don't change the position. I just hold it firm in this spot. And once he's there, you can see that there's a bit of slack. I don't need to use a lot of force. I don't need to yank on him. He's licking and chewing, which is a good indication that he's understanding. He's processing what I'm communicating with my body language, with my movements, with what we're doing. And you can teach a horse to do pretty much anything with this. So we're going, hi. We can also think about, I think what's another thing that's helpful is, I like to call it resetting. So when you've got a kid on a horse's back, or if you're putting a horse in a stall and you'd like to pick their feet or tack them up, I like to pick a spot that I want my horse to stand. And sometimes, especially Aaron, he'll fidget or move around or spin. And this isn't bad behavior. This isn't anything he's done wrong. This is him communicating with his body. He's anxious. He wants to see where his friends are. He's thinking about something else. He's not wanting to stand because he's unsure about what's coming next. So we don't need to reprimand him. We don't need to, yell at him or flail our lead rope. All we have to do is reset. So that spot where he was standing, let's say it was, a foot to the side, I would get him to step forward a little bit, pull him a little forward. I put my body in front of him to show him, you come toward me. And if I want, there's a bug I think bothering him. I want his butt to move over. I come to the opposite side, holding lead rope in one hand. I'm holding my, right under my buckle still. And I'm just gonna push with my other hand, give him a little kiss, and tell him, move your feet over a little, and maybe move back. And all it took was a little bit of pressure on the chest. I lift my buckle up, and maybe put a little pressure going in this direction towards his chest. But I don't need to yank, I don't need to push him, I don't need to flail or yell. He can feel a fly on his back. He is extremely sensitive, all horses are. So our commands, our requests to them can be just as gentle, and we can get the same results. Yeah.